Ciao, I am Maris Pähne, and this is a new episode of Light Italian podcast. Hello, beautiful people from all around the world. Today I would like to share with you some of my latest insights and my future plans. Those of you who already know me a bit, probably you know that I announced some time ago that I will no longer teach Italian. So what is it all about? I will tell you in a few moments. Light Italian initially was about teaching and learning Italian language through self-care and through self-development. So I wanted to give to women a possibility to relax and find their true self through learning Italian, so by combining two things. Today I will share with you more in detail why I have decided to stop teaching Italian and continue only with helping people on their self-growth journey. So as said, Light Italian, not anymore so much about Italian, but definitely light in the meaning that what I want to show you is the feeling of joy and freedom and peace, the light inside of us and around us. So why is that? How did I realize that teaching Italian is not the way to continue? First of all, I thought that Light Italian is something important for me, a change, something that will completely change my life. Instead, it was just the beginning. It's continuing. The journey is continuing. It all started in August when I went to my holiday and had more free time to relax and for self-reflection. So in the beginning, everything was pretty normal. I went to the beach, we hang around with my family, until I was asked the following questions by very, very inspiring people that I met on Instagram. So the first question was, I will tell you exactly the question. You seem so into helping women to be calmer and find time for space. I'm interested in why are you involving the Italian language as well? This was a question from Alison from Manchester Kitchen, and this question just blew my mind. I had all the answers like, yeah, but I studied to become an Italian teacher, and this is what I should do. And I also like self-development and personal growth, so why not to combine those two things? This is, it's quite logical, right? So in the beginning, I didn't really consider that this question could change the way I'm working, but it really made me think. You seem so into helping women to be calmer and find time for space. Why are you involving the Italian language? So first, this question arrived. A couple of days passed. I continued my holidays. And suddenly a week later, another person asked me a similar question. And then I realized that this cannot be a coincidence. There must be something that other people perceive from outside, which I myself cannot recognize, or I am not aware of this, or simply I'm too afraid to admit. So the second question that was asked from me by Jeppe: do you feel one or another, in a meaning, so Italian or the well-being side of your project, do you feel one or another is more important to you? And do you feel that maybe some fear is blocking you from choosing only the one that you care more about? Well, then I realized this must be some sign. Here in the podcast notes, I will leave you also the contacts of Alison from Ancestral Kitchen and Jeppe, the happiness coach. You can check out what are they doing exactly. And I really appreciate how they opened my eyes and gave me the courage to make this change. You see, this is the power of right questions. Because the answers we have already inside of us. So the questions have to bring us the knowledge that make us reflect, the questions that activate our deeper inner knowledge. So the answers arrive themselves if we are ready to open ourselves. So honestly, I was shocked by these questions. And let me tell you a bit more my personal story, so you could better understand my doubts of choosing only one field, only the side of self-development. My career hasn't been linear at all. And for some people, maybe it wouldn't even make any sense. But to me, it does. Now, today, I really understand why each step of my journey had been necessary and what I had learned from each experience. So first of all, I graduated in optometry in Estonia. For those of you who are now guessing what is this optometry, optometrists are examining the eyes, prescribing glasses, usually most commonly working in optical shops. But after graduation, I have moved countries, lived in Spain for a voluntary service with visually impaired people, after which I followed my Italian partner in Hungary, where he found his first job after graduation from the university. I worked in Budapest for a multinational company, completely in another field. So to be honest, in optometry, I have worked only for a very short period. Later we moved together to Italy, where I have lived since 2014, with some periods also back in Estonia. So you see, finding a job has actually never been an issue, despite moving countries. In Italy, I have worked also as an assistant in an Italian law firm in Milan, in some multinational companies in sales and in finance. So really, as I started, my career hasn't been linear. So you see, for those of you who are listening and have some doubts about your career, no problem. Your initial degree, neither having or not having a certain certification, doesn't really define your whole life. There is always a way to figure out your direction. Okay, said that, now comes the tricky part. I have always worked also in pretty nice atmosphere, but I have always had some strange dissatisfaction or a wish to get something more out of my job, to do something that really matters to me, and not only being like a number in the HR list or not only complying with some company policies from 9 to 5. That's why I decided to take action, and I went to study teaching Italian as a foreign language at the University of Milan. So this was my plan B. I say plan B because this was something that I thought that could bring me closer to satisfaction and fulfillment in life, and I could feel more peaceful and do something that I really care about. I love learning and speaking different languages, and I was really excited about the idea of being able to share my Italian knowledge with other people while living in Italy. So at first, I started to give traditional one-to-one textbook lessons, but pretty soon I realized that this was not for me. I wanted to do something more meaningful for myself and to my students. So I decided to combine Italian with my other personal interests, such as self-development, yoga, meditation, just taking time to myself and feeling myself calm and relaxed. Finally, I found the courage to put myself out there and started the Light Italian project. I can tell you that Light Italian was a fruit of an intense period of changes in my life. It happened right after having my daughter. She's now 2 years old. I had already been practicing yoga for a couple of years, but during that period, I really got into self-development in different ways. I just needed something to feel balanced and take time for myself, because I didn't want to be the desperate housewife yelling at my baby and my partner. I felt that the emotions were taking over. Of course, I was also tired because with small baby you cannot sleep as much as you need. So it all was too much, and I wanted to find some good way to solve and find a way out from this overwhelm. And I chose to solve my problems by conscious self-work. It was conscious work, and I knew that there is a way out. Nobody else can help me. Only I myself can improve myself and how I feel and how I choose to shape my days. And I believe that everybody should invest in themselves, in their well-being and personal growth, to simply make the world a better place for everyone. It may sound a bit naive, but for me this is really the ultimate result. We all want to live peacefully in a nice and peaceful world. And if you are not happy with what you see around you, then start to work on yourself and the things will solve in one or another way, instead of blaming external factors and getting stuck. And this is where I want to give you a hand by helping you find the peace inside of you and the freedom to feel balanced. The freedom to be yourself. But wait a moment, let's get back to teaching Italian for a moment. So I was excited to do something that I was qualified for and combine it with other interests. Everything seemed pretty logical, and this was my plan B, as I already told, towards fulfilling life. I studied Italian, I studied teaching Italian, so I should also do it. I will teach Italian. That's what I'm supposed to do, isn't it? But I didn't consider at all the possibility that there can be a plan C, plan D, plan E. I was so focused on what I was doing. So instead, this was just the beginning. Light Italian was just the beginning to open me an opportunity for the plan C. Fortunately, thanks to Alison and Jeppe and other people around me, I was able to realize my fears and direct my energy towards helping others in their self-growth journey, which turned out to be something that I had always secretly wanted to do. I just didn't believe I could do it. I mean, who am I to talk about self-growth and freedom, about peace? Will anybody even care about my message? I don't have a relevant degree. And what if I went on with my plan C and then failed? And do you know what these thoughts are called? This is self-sabotage. All of us have moments of self-sabotage that hold us back. Nobody ever told me these facts. And these are not facts. I just made up these questions and these doubts in my head. These are the thoughts in our head that many of us believe is the truth. But the truth is deeper inside of us, not in our head. We are the ones to limit ourselves. And if we manage to remove the conditioning frames bit by bit over the time, then we understand the